Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Speaking of books, something slightly more exotic. From the very exotic Ralph McAllister, good morning and welcome to you, Ralph.
Very well, but I can't quite hear you as well as usual.
Oh dear, I better shout up in that case. Dear oh dear, can you hear me now? We should have the string in the cans, Ralph, and make sure that you can hear me. But actually, it's much more important to hear about you. You have got a very exotic author to tell us about today.
Yes, his name is Abir. That's his first name, A-B-I-R. His second name is Mukherjee. I hope I've got the pronunciation correct. He's an Indian writer of some distinction, but he's not to be confused with Neil or Bharati, who also have the surname Mukherjee. But Mukherjee is a thriller writer who has got this Captain Sam Wyndham, who's English and a little bit pompous, living in the early 20th century, the time of Gandhi, and he is a detective. He's a constable, a policeman in India, in Calcutta, and we see through his eyes the birth of a nation, really. Oh. It's a time of the Troubles. It's a time of the English trying to continue to dominate. Now, Mukherjee has written, this is his fourth thriller. First was Rising Man, Necessary Evil, Smoke and Ashes, but this one's Death in the East. And I would recommend it to most people who like this genre because it's just so beautifully sort of written. And he takes two stories. He takes the young Sam in an adventure he had when he was 19 in London, when he was a menial sort of beginner. And he juxtaposes that with a story about himself in the 20s in India. Now, Sam is a flawed character because during the First World War, he got hooked on opium as a treatment for his serious injuries. And so he lives with this, and every so often it takes over, and he has to find somewhere in Calcutta or wherever to help him with his habit. He's also got this wonderful man called, an Indian called Surrender Not Banerjee. Now, Surrender Not's not his real name, name, but he's, as the English have done for years, they make it easier on themselves. You know, they don't bother with pronunciation. It's a wonderful relationship. It's very, very deeply interested in politics, but don't let your listeners be put off. Beautiful writing. I think it's his best, Death in the East, but somebody at Paper Plus yesterday said to me, do you have to read them in order? Not at all. You could start with this one, which I've just read a proof copy from Paper Plus, so it's probably come out in the next couple of weeks. Or start with one of the other three.
Right. Oh, wonderful. Now, you say that the politics sort of take... Well, they don't dominate, but that must have been a fascinating time in politics, the end of the Raj and the end of you could say the beginning of the end of the British Empire. Remember those days when the map was red?
Yeah, that's right. It was a fascinating time, and of course they took about another 20 years after these novels are set to actually adjust to independence. But it's what I kept reminding of was E.M. Forster at his best, where he passes to India, etc. Yeah. The way he captured the snobbery with humour, but also with deep passion about why we should, as white people, be more superior to people of another colour. And it's so pertinent today, of course.
Yes.
And that's why I like him very much. He's also very funny. He's got some wonderful sort of situations that he gets into. And so he's my recommendation today. And I will try and talk about probably Ian McKellen next week because I've just read his new unauthorised biography, and I loved that. So how about that for to whet the appetite?
Looking forward to that. But today you've really piqued the appetite. That was Abir Murkherjee. And
I think that's right. Yeah.
Well, it sounds pretty good. I'm sure that we'll get an indignant email from Kolkata, if we've got it wrong. It's wonderful.
Good luck to her.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you for your company, sir.
Okay.
There we are, Ralph McAllister.
106.3 Beach FM.